What if I told you one of Barcelona's biggest stars almost left the club because he felt unwanted?
And what if I told you that one phone call changed everything? Because before the goals, the assists, the trophies, and the new contract, Raphinha was a player many fans thought would not last at Barca.
So today, we are telling the full story of how Raphinha went from doubt to becoming one of Barcelona's most important players. When people talk about Raphinha now, they usually talk about the numbers, the goals, the assists, the big performances, the trophies.
But that is not what makes this story special. What makes this story special is the fact that it nearly went the other way. Because not long ago, Raphinha was not universally loved at Barcelona. He was doubted, questioned, frustrating at times, and even he himself started thinking about leaving.
So in this video, we are looking at 5 parts. First, who Raphinha is and where he came from. Second, how his journey through Europe built his mentality. Third, why things became so difficult at Barcelona. Fourth, how one huge turning point changed everything. And fifth, what his future now means for Barcelona.
Raphinha, whose full name is Rafael Dias Belloli, was born on 14 December 1996 inches, Porto Alegre, Brazil. FC Barcelona's official player page says he came through the youth system at Avaí before moving into European football with Vitória Guimarães, and then later playing for Sporting, Rennes, Leeds United, and finally Barcelona.
That route matters, because Raphinha was not sold to the world as some untouchable golden boy. He had to climb. He had to prove himself in different countries, different systems, and different levels of expectation.
And that kind of journey usually builds a different type of player, not the one who assumes everything will happen, the one who feels he has to earn everything.
Before Barcelona, Raphinha already had one of those journeys that hardens a player. From Avaí, he moved to Vitória Guimarães in Portugal, then came Sporting, then Rennes in France, then Leeds United in England, and finally Barcelona in 2022. Transfer history lays out that climb clearly.
And each move added something. Portugal helped sharpen him. France gave him another level. Leeds made him visible to a bigger Premier League audience.
By the time Barcelona signed him, he was not an untested talent. He was already a player with edge, resilience, and attacking quality. But joining Barca is different. At Barcelona, quality is not enough. You are judged constantly, compared constantly, and expected to produce beautifully, not just effectively.
And this is where the story gets really interesting. Because in 2025, Reuters reported that Raphinha admitted he had considered leaving Barcelona. Why? Because during the 2023-24 season, he felt that coach Xavi Hernandez and his staff did not show much trust in him. He also said that many fans wanted him to leave and that maybe even the board was not happy with what he was doing.
That is huge, because this is not just media speculation. That is the player himself saying it.
And the way he described it made the situation feel very real. He said that if you are not welcome somewhere, it is better not to be there. That tells you how close this came to ending.
And honestly, that is why this story hits harder than a normal success story. Because he was not just struggling in form. He was questioning whether he even belonged there.
Welcome to Football Superstar Stories, where we tell the rise, glory, and legacy of football's biggest stars. Our goal is to bring you inspiring football journeys, unforgettable moments, and the stories behind the legends. If you love football, please support us by liking, sharing, and subscribing.
Now comes the turning point. Reuters reported that when Hansi Flick arrived, he called Raphinha and told him he was counting on him. Raphinha said that call was very important because it changed his way of thinking.
That is the line. That is the moment. That is the whole emotional core of this story. Because sometimes a player does not need a miracle. He just needs belief.
And once that belief arrived, everything changed. Reuters reported that Raphinha then went on to produce the best season of his life, with 34 goals and 25 assists across all competitions, helping Barcelona win a domestic treble. and eventually signing a contract extension until 2028.
That is not a bounce back. That is a total transformation.
And that is why the story works so well. Because the same player many people had stopped believing in became one of the faces of Barcelona's success.
Now, here is the reason I think this story can hit viewers hard. A lot of football success stories are about players who were always meant to become stars. Raphinha's story does not feel like that. It feels more human.
He doubted things. Others doubted him. He nearly left. Then one call changed the direction of everything.
And because of that, his rise feels earned. Not manufactured. Not pre-written. Earned.
Even in 2026, he remained central enough that Reuters was still covering his injury as a major blow for Barcelona in the Champions League quarter-finals. And his reaction to Barca's European exit showed how emotionally invested he was.
That tells you he is no longer on the outside looking in. He is part of the emotional core of the team now.
So what are we really looking at when we look at Raphinha? Not just a Barcelona winger, not just a Brazilian attacker with good numbers.
We are looking at a player who nearly walked away and then rebuilt his place at one of the biggest clubs in the world.
We are looking at a player who felt unwanted, then got belief, then turned belief into the best football of his life.
And that is why this story matters. Because it is not just about talent. It is about timing, trust, belonging, and what can happen when the right coach sees the right player at the right moment.
That is what makes Raphinha's rise feel different. Not perfect, not easy, just real.
And honestly, that is exactly why fans love stories like this.
So what do you think was Flick's call, the moment that changed everything for Raphinha?
Let us know in the comments below.
And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Football Superstar Stories.
And if you know any football fans who would enjoy this story, share it with your friends and family too.
Thank you for watching until the very end. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share Football Superstar Stories with your friends and family. Your support helps us tell more football stories.